Whoa, it's the illusion. Reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. Whew. Another day in the dream. It's a glorious day here in Southern California in January. That's for sure. Wow. Wow. Love when it all comes together with some manifested positive energy, dude. So, I think my episode of Workaholics I appeared on aired last night. I got some couple blips, dude, but I don't have really good service, so I wasn't really able to check out what the blips were. I just saw someone say, did I see you on Workaholics? So that's kind of cool, man. That's always the universe trying to communicate in its far out way. And, I've really just been thinking a lot about how this is like our time as humanity to rise above the status quo, man. And most people want to get the status quo some sort of right, left, center, upside down paradigm. When to me, the status quo is any sort of attachment to the three-dimensional reality and the 5 sense perception, right? And if you're not really hip to it all, it's like the 5 senses, seeing, hear, taste, touch, smell, occupy, all that information comes in on the electromagnetic frequency, man. It comes in on the spectrum, dude. And we only experience, as human beings, a limited amount of the spectrum. Like a little teeny portion of it, dude, is what the 5 senses can capture. For example, a dog can hear way more than a human can. It hears a different electromagnetic range. A bee can see all sorts of different color spectrums, different electromagnetic range. So part of our problem as multidimensional beings having a human experience is we're limited with our ability to perceive. We're stuck in our 5 senses and their limited range of the electromagnetic frequencies. Now you can go put on night vision goggles, for example, which I believe go into the infrared and see a greater part of the spectrum with enhanced goggles. And we can enhance our 5 senses to experience more. But basically all the information we receive gets turned into electricity and shot down into the brain, and then we pick and choose how we want to perceive it. And that perception operates in the 3-dimensional world. Now it's debatable whether we actually live in a 3-dimensional world. Some scientists say we're just experiencing a 2-dimensional world when you realize that all of it is just electromagnetic energy turning into electricity going into our brain, right? Some deep stuff. You can go all sorts of ways down the bunny hole. But the fundamental thing is the status quo is the 5 senses and the 3 dimensions. Right? See, I'm not linear anymore. I used to be a pretty linear guy. And now, once I really began to understand the 4th dimension, which is time, space, right? And realized that was totally subjected to the realities dictated by the 3-dimensional reality, right? So once you have a broader understanding that time is strictly subjective and realize that time is infinite in all directions of time and space, I think you begin to approach on the 5th dimension of it all. And that's where we gotta aim. So as from my own human experience, when I get stuck in the 3D world based upon my 5 senses telling me information, I can choose either fear or love. It's just that simple. Fear is a really condensed 3-dimensional attachment that says that the 3-dimensional world's all there is, and that the 5 senses and their limitations are all I can perceive. Love is a multi-dimensional frequency that goes beyond the 5 senses, because that's what God's all about, is love. So here we are, man, caught in the time-space code of early January 2017. Now, I always liked it in The Matrix when Morpheus asked Neo what date he thought it was, and Morpheus filled him in that it's like a whole different date. And I tend to believe that too, especially when you realize time-space is subjective, and that people have been dictating time and space. So I don't really know what year it is anymore, man. All I know is time is infinite in all directions, man. And so here I am trying to break free of it. So we, or me, or I guess it can be a we, are experiencing something here on Spaceship Earth. And it's basically the end of the 3D 5-sense experience. That we've peaked out on it, dude. We don't like music. There's no reason, music is music. Art is art. Yeah, there's nuances underneath it all, but as far as we go, we've pretty much maximized like hearing, visual, taste, touch, smell. Kind of maximized it all. Yeah, I'm sure there's still spaces to grow in there and expand. But as far as it goes, man, in the human experience, like, we've pretty much done that. And as far as the 3D experience goes, like, you can get anywhere you want on the planet. You could potentially go to the space station orbiting the Earth. No doubt the technology's there to go to another planet. So I think we've maxed out the 3D experience. Like, all the cars in the world aren't gonna fix the problem. All the celebrities in the world aren't gonna do anything for you. There is no answer. The answer is spiritual. The answer gets down to your relationship with love, which can be God, which it is for me. And so once you get to that relationship, all of a sudden the status quo of the 5 senses in the 3D world begin to fade. And all of a sudden we realize that it's totally up to us, or me as an individual, how I perceive the world. I can be here on this beautiful sunny Southern California day and still say it sucks if I choose to, and find fault all over the place, man. I could find nothing but fault. Or I could accept it for exactly what it is. And I don't really truly know what it is anymore, except I'm moving through it. And that in this moment that I'm experiencing, it's perfect. Even when I think it's not perfect, it is perfect, because all the moments previous to this moment, arguably, I don't know if they ever occurred, have made this moment, in my ability to understand it, perfect. So we're supposed to be expanding, not contracting. So if I look at what's going on the national level and the worldwide level, we're having a giant contraction because the power grid or the controllers are trying to control us by contracting us back to fear. We got to break free of the fear thing and get back to love, man. It's all laid out in Bob Marley's Uprising, dude. If you really want to get a primer on what I'm talking about, Bob Marley Uprising will explain it all to you. But anyway, I'm just chiming in on that thing because I think that we all need to start getting away from fear and getting to love and breaking free of the status quo of the 5 senses and the 3D landscape. Anyway, this is The Illusion. There's hats available, there's arts available, there's phone numbers available, there's emails available, all of them for you to use and do what you please. If you like what I'm doing here, feel free to donate, man. Anyway, this is The Illusion, breaking free of the time code.